Holy Spirit is so funny, guys. Like, I was literally just about to go and, do some things for myself, you know what I mean? And then the message just came to me again, and he wanted me to reiterate something. And it's important, okay? And this is a confirmation for many who have been questioning this. So I put out a message yesterday about God ordained spouses. So sorry, okay? And, I went into details about that message and stuff like that. And I said it's not going to be a message for a lot of people. It's going to be for like a group of people. And you would already know because God already confirmed to you. So in that message, I was talking about, how God was saying the ordained spouse is sorry, and how just like sometimes we feel guilty for our past sins, even though we have already been forgiven, we have already healed, we've already done the work, and we've forgiven ourselves, right? It does not mean that someone else has done that amount of work, and has forgiven themselves. You have to remember that somebody can be really sorry about what they've done to you. They can apologize to you. They can feel horrible about it. But it does not mean that they have forgiven themselves. To be able to forgive yourself wholeheartedly and completely, it does require healing. You have to remember that not everybody heals at the same time. It may take for you 10 months to heal from something. It may take for someone else a whole year to heal from something. Some of us are still healing from something. We may have already forgiven ourselves, but some of us may have already forgiven ourselves, but we're still healing from some things. You get what I'm saying? So you have to understand that just because someone's sorry, it doesn't mean that they haven't apologized. It doesn't mean that they don't mean it. Sometimes the reason why you have not gotten that apology from them, or sometimes why this person cannot face you, is because they have not forgiven themselves and they have not healed to be able to face you. They have not healed enough. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Whew, he just came through, corrected me real quick. He said enough. So they have not healed enough to even have that confidence to face you. Do you get what I'm saying? How many of you guys have done something in the past where you are very sorry about it, you are working on healing from it, but you still have a hard time even being around the person, because even though you may have apologized to the person and said you're sorry to the person, you still have a hard time being around the person because you still can't believe that the person you may have done this to still wants to be your friend or still loves you and is still nice to you, even though you have done this. And even though you apologize to them, it's still kind of hard for you to be around them knowing that they have forgiven something that you did. You get what I'm saying? And the reason why you feel like that is because you are actually authentically sorry, right? But because you also feel like you don't deserve a second chance. And sometimes, thank you, Holy Spirit, sometimes what happens is the person knows that if the tables were turned, things would have been different. If the tables were turned and you would have done to them what they've done to you, right? They wouldn't have forgiven you. Do you get what I'm saying? And the tables would have turned. So sometimes when people know that, right, it's hard for them to still be around you even though you've forgiven them. It's hard for them to still be around you even though they have apologized and they took the steps to apologize. It's hard for them to still be around you because they know deep down they could not have done what you've done. They could not have forgiven you the way you've forgiven them. They could not have still allowed you in their life the way how you have allowed them in your life. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what God was saying. And then he told me something so cute. He told me something. Okay, so he was basically saying, when he said yesterday in that message, your kingdom spouse is sorry, and he said it does require patience. I gave you guys the example of Sarah and Abraham, how, Sarah, even though there was a prophecy that God had for her about bearing a child, she still let Abraham go out of his way and do something between that prophecy. And I was giving you that example as to why God says patience is still required, because at the same time, you don't understand what's going on the other person's end as to why you can't be together in this moment. Sometimes you have to remember, God is going to give the person that, yes, contact him, or yes, contact her. But God knows if the person is not healed enough to go into the relationship. It's not that the person's not sorry. It's not that the person's a horrible person, but the person may not be healed enough to be in that relationship with you, which means that you may be on a different healing journey than them. You may be completely healed, you've forgiven a lot of stuff, or you may still be healing, but you are more open. You get what I'm saying about talking about your sin, open about, what I mean, being transparent about it, and you understand the message behind it and what God was doing, whereas the other party may not be there yet. The other party may not be comfortable with what they did, right? And it's not that God is trying to force them to be comfortable with it. It's more like they haven't forgiven themselves and they're not comfortable enough to be around you when they haven't even forgiven themselves. This is where God was telling me, For some of you guys, there's things being worked on the other party's end. God is working on them. For some of you guys, they're getting help. Okay, they're getting help. It may be that they're praying more, they're fasting more, they're going to counseling, they're going to therapy. They're taking the initiative to make these changes in their lives, right? You ever heard that saying where when God brings you a wife, he brings you a good thing, right? It's the same concept with a husband. When you have a husband, a God-ordained husband, you have a good thing. So you have to understand that because they know you're a good thing, there has to be work done away from you, so when they are with you, they can meet their expectations of being that God-ordained husband for you, being that God-ordained wife for you, which means that the expectations they have to meet does require some healing, does require them to forgive themselves, does require them to be healed enough to be able to face you. Do you get what I'm saying? Does mean they have to be healed enough to be able to have deep conversations with you. That's what God is saying. So right now, they're being prepared for that, God is saying. They're doing a lot of healing, and there's things that has to be done before they can meet these expectations. It's not that they're still being a bad person. It's not that they're not really sorry. No, they really have to do a lot of healing within themselves. And here's what God also said to me. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for reminding me. He brought me an analogy of Proverbs 31. In Proverbs 31, it says, a God-ordained husband, the husband has confidence in his wife because she loves him so much. He has confidence in her, right? So the person already has confidence in you, right? But just because the person has confidence in you, don't you think that the person also feels like it should be fair to you that they also have confidence in themselves? That you can have confidence in them too? Because they have confidence in you, they want you to also have confidence in them. And even though you have confidence in them, if they don't have confidence in themselves, they're not going to accept the fact that you have confidence in them. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is something that they have to work on. So it's not you. It's not that they're not really sorry. It's not that they don't have a backbone. No, they're sorry. Like I said, many of you guys already got your apologies from this person, right? Many of you guys are married to this person. That's why I said it's not going to be a message for everybody, right? It's something that they have to work on. We are not in control of someone else's time frame for them to heal. We're not in control of that. You get what I'm saying? So that's what God is saying. They are working on meeting the expectations that God has in them for you. That does require patience. Okay? Thank you, Holy Spirit. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.